Good morning, world changers. I hope you're all well. It is Monday. It's the 1st of February. It's the start of a new month. Can you believe we're already in February? 2021 is set to respite again. It's a bit mad considering we're in lockdown, and I was going to say it feels like there's a slower pace of life, but it doesn't. It's not, despite not being able to do all the activities that we look forward to doing. Good morning, Doug. It's nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, and despite not being able to do all the things that we normally do, I don't know about you, but life is freaking racing by. Already we're in February. So a wonderful good morning to you, a wonderful Monday to you. How are you feeling about your Monday? This is a question that our coach asked today in our Change Your World Everyday group. Arthie Moore we've got this week. Oh my God, she's a freaking powerhouse of energy, honestly. You're like, after a session with her, you're like, I can change the world. She's amazing. But yes, she was asking, how do you feel about your Monday mornings? Do you buy into the whole kind of societal feeling of, ugh, it's Monday? Or do you embrace your Mondays? Do you embrace the start of another new week? Do you have the perspective that, yes, this is another week to make another amazing difference, to add value to my life, to add value to your life, to add value to everybody else's life? Do you hold that perspective, or are you just like, yeah? Let us know what you think. What's your thoughts on a Monday morning, Doug? You've just joined our coaching group, so I'm interested to hear what you think and what you thought of Artie's broadcast this morning, if you've had a chance to catch it. So basically, she's been talking about the compassionate journey of purpose. We're continuing the theme of purpose into February, and that's been our theme for January altogether. And it's not been about goal setting, because my personal view is January, like when everybody's making their New Year's resolutions, January is the worst time ever to make New Year's resolutions, because I think we should live in alignment with nature. And winter is a time of hibernation, of just being closing down, just being introspective. And that's when we should be reflecting on the year that's gone by and what we want to look forward to and what we want to achieve and create in the year going forward. But you do the preparation work now. You prepare, you put in the tools and steps to get your mindset in the right place, so when the spring happens, you are ready to flourish and you start rebirthing, creating seed. You're doing all the seedings then to create the goals, the achievements, the things that you want to create for the year ahead. So one of the questions that Artie mentioned in her coaching call this morning, she was asking what you're afraid of. So she was congratulating everybody for being on the call, because they're already one step ahead, because they've taken the courage to say, I'm going to look at myself. Totally agree. You can't get going in January. No, yeah, absolutely. And she was asking, what is it that you're afraid of? What do you need to look at? Like, look at the fear. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I get distracted on a Facebook Live. She was saying, to congratulating the members in the group, because they are already one step ahead, because they've had the courage to say, life is not working out as I hoped or planned, or there's some tweaks and changes, there's amendments, there's improvements I want to make in my life. And I'm having the courage to look at that. And the first step is getting some support to do that, some coaching support, learning tools and techniques that you can implement into your life. Now, the thing is, when we do a self-appraisal of our life, and I advocate that we always should do appraisals. We have appraisals at work all the time. We look at what's working really well, what needs work, and what training we need. Why do we not apply this to our lives? Why do we think that we need training to learn to drive a car, to be better at our jobs and all the rest of it? However, we don't think we need training and coaching and development in our lives to create the lives that we really want. So we just assume that life will just roll out as we want and hope. And of course it doesn't. Life is created by the design, by the action you take, by the intention you set of what you want to achieve. And it's only by taking the action of that. Now, answering this question, what am I afraid of? Now, it takes courage to admit what you're afraid of. But it is absolutely getting clarity on this gives you the indication of what it is you need to start addressing, because there's a development opportunity there. When you acknowledge what it is you are afraid of, then it's a signal saying, I need to go to work on this, because that is what's holding you back in life. That is what's causing issues in your life. That's what's causing problems. You get caught up in the rat race. Absolutely. If you do not stop to pause, you just go on the treadmill of life. You're just on it, going eat, work, sleep, repeat. And that's what happens. If you do not step off it, just pause. And I'll tell you, when the first time I had this lesson about stepping back from the rat race and just life in general, because I was just on autopilot going through life, doing what I needed to do. And I remember it was my first day at the BBC when I was 24 years old. I was doing a work experience and I was so chuffed. I was delighted I'd got this work experience, because I'd been doing communications, HND at college, and I was always told that you had to have a uni degree to get in the BBC and all this stuff. So I'd only done my college degree at that point. But I'd managed to secure this week's work placement. And I was so excited. I was so nervous. I was just so fresh and wet behind the ears. Had this first day at the BBC and it was incredible. It was amazing. I just loved it. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I just thought I want to be a researcher. At that point, I wanted to be a researcher. I had no idea about being a producer or anything. That was just my intention then. However, at the same time, whilst that part of my life was going great and it was an exciting new chapter unfolding, in my personal life, my dad had had some health problems. And that very night, after finishing, I was working in Aberdeen, after finishing my work experience, finishing my day for that day, I went straight up to the hospital. That night, that evening in the hospital, I was told my dad had terminal cancer and had weeks to live. And all of a sudden, my whole life changed in a moment. And I stepped off that carousel. Everything I'd been doing, churning towards and then setting the intention, all of a sudden I'd taken a step back. And I remember just thinking, we're just walking around in this daze where everybody was on this carousel and I was just watching it from the side. I had stepped off it. The whole world for me was on pause and everyone else was just carrying on. And that's what it felt like. And that was the first moment ever before where I'd actually stopped to pause and think, what is life about? What the hell is this all about? What am I here for? What is the purpose of it? What is the meaning of it? Now, the purpose of the story is that I don't want you to wait until you have a life-changing moment that changes your whole perspective. Now, sadly, my dad passed away within 6 weeks. It was very quick, his deterioration, and it was one of the most painful lessons. And I remember my dad saying he was too young to die. He had still too much to live for. Now, my dad was 71 when he passed away, and that threw me, because I thought, wow, I thought you'd lived a really full life. And he had lived a full life, but there was still so much he wanted to do. And that's what the lesson, when I, took a step back from all the grief and I was able to, morning Jane, nice to see you. When I was able to take a sort of step back and reflect on the whole experience, I thought, okay, if anything I can learn from this painful experience is to not be in the position where I'm lying on my deathbed or looking close to the end of my life and still having regrets. Now, of course, I had that lesson at the young age of 24, didn't deal with it, didn't have the right support around me. So what did I do? I went straight back into avoidance mode, threw myself into work, developing my career again, just work, avoid going out at the weekends, drinking, having a great time, avoid, not dealing with any of it. And then 10, 11 years later, I get the same painful lesson, but this time it's my mum and sister both being diagnosed with terminal cancer. And again, I'm off the carousel of life, taking a pause and a self-appraisal of life again. And well, they say if you don't deal with something, it just keeps coming up, it keeps persisting. What you resist persists. And of course, I had the same horrendous, brutal life lesson again. And that's when, obviously I went through a whole period of grief and just, it was just horrendous, quite frankly. But because at that time I had a life coach in place, I had a personal development practice in place, I had a friend that would take me out running, that would help me mentally, work through all the challenges and everything, I was able to start implementing all the tools and techniques that I started learning in my personal development practice and turn my life around, face all my fears. And I mean, I had numerous fears. The inner critic that was inside me, thinking I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, public speaking, who would want to listen to me, what have I got to say, people may still listen to me and think, I don't want to listen to you. But you know what, all I know is that I have now set up Change Your World, and I support other people who are changing their lives each and every day. Without me doing the personal development, I never would have done that. That has given me purpose, that has given me passion. It makes me want to jump out of bed on a Monday morning. In context, I used to be, I had my career at the BBC, which I loved, but then it started changing, my perspective changing, because I grew, I changed, and I realised actually it wasn't in alignment with my values anymore. It wasn't making the difference in the world that I wanted to make. It wasn't adding the value that I wanted. And let's not get into the politics of the BBC. But for me personally, I thought, I can do more outside the BBC than I can inside it, which is a crazy statement to make when you think how powerful the BBC is and how powerful media is and what it can do and the message. But I just felt it wasn't in alignment with my values. So I started on this quest and this journey to help people develop themselves, because when people develop themselves, when we develop ourselves, we start to think and feel better. When we feel better and think better, we make better choices, and when we make better choices, we get better results, and that's when our world starts to change. So that is what this is all about. This is what we do at Change Your World. It's all about creating a positive ripple effect for individuals, organisations and the environment. And that is through the power of personal development. But that has to start with an honest appraisal about what you're scared of. Because, like I say, when you identify and get the clarity you need on what you're scared of, then you know where you need to begin. And it's terrifying to face your fears, because they're fears for a reason. They're there, whether they're rational fears or it's still a fear, and the emotion around it is still as strong and as powerful. And to face up to it takes real courage. However, if you're gonna face up to it, don't do it on your own. So this is, Change Your World Every Day is an incredible resource that you can tap into. We have 50 plus coaches. We're adding to that week after week, and it's filled with role models, daily inspiration, accountability, support, encouragement, empowerment. And it's kind of, again, I say this all the time, but who are you surrounded by that brings that empowerment, inspiration, encouragement and support, that doesn't have any other agenda than your best interest? Because often we are surrounded by people that say, oh, you should do this, you need to do this, you know what your problem is. And it's like, okay, well, a lot of that is projection. It's coming from, their agenda or what they want from you. And it's like, actually, you know what, the best we can do is support somebody to become their true potential and believe in themselves and have the courage to live with integrity and be their authentic self, because the ripple effect of that is amazing. So that's what I wanted to come on today and ask you. Think about what it is you are scared of. What are you afraid of? and think about the steps that you can take to tackle that. What support do you need to put in place to support that, to encourage you to overcome that fear that is holding you back in life? And where does it come from? That's another great thing. You know, even if you can't work out where it's come from, just even acknowledging it's there is the first step to changing it. Self-awareness of the problem is the first step to changing it. The second step is taking action. Now that you've identified it, you have to take action. Unless, if you don't take action, it will just get worse and worse and worse, and just keep persisting until you finally do deal with it. And it causes major crisis in your life. There's two things that make us change, and that's inspiration and desperation. Desperation is the point when you've just had enough, when crisis happens, when it all goes tits up, quite frankly. And inspiration is when you intentionally choose, or you've been inspired by somebody else and go, I want that. I want to be like that. I want to, you know, it's not about being that person, but it's seeing something about that person and how they act, how they show up, that you think, yeah, I like that. I would rather be like that than, you know, why I am, how I am just now. So that's what we offer here at Change Your World. We've got various coaching services, but change your world every day. The key thing about the message, so today is the last day, the final day that you can sign up for Change Your World every day at the price point of $29.99. From midnight tonight, it will be going up to the price point of $49.99. So why pay more when you don't have to? If you sign up today, you get a 2-week free trial, so you can try it out for 2 weeks, and then you can make a decision whether you want to continue with that. But if you sign up today, you will secure the price point of $29.99 a month. That's less than £1 a day, €1 a day, $1 a day, wherever you are. It's super cheap. It's less than a cup of coffee. It's, yeah, I mean, honestly, where are you going to get life-changing content at that price point? So I will put the link in the comments, but do let me know. Put in the comments, what are you afraid of? Let me know what is holding you back in life. I would love to know. I'd love to hear your comments. And thanks for tuning in today, guys. Lovely to see you. Love to you all. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you all soon. All right, bye.